James, have you ever done a cost-benefit analysis on how much it costs to recruit and the benefit you get from spending the money on it? And in your view, what is, I don't know, is there a ratio or is there something that you put a value on saying this is how much we have to spend on recruiting and this is what we should be getting from it?
Yeah, I mean, I think you do that overall, but the breakdown and the specifics of it, no. Yeah, part of it is it depends on where you're at in the demographics. It's like, I don't know if you guys were around last week with Coach Godowski, and he was talking about, you look at, their recruiting budget compared to maybe Minnesota's, I think he said, and Minnesota's got like the smallest recruiting budget. And why? Because the number of Division I and NHL players that come out of that area. No different than if you're in the state of Florida, Texas, or California, where there's anywhere between 250 and 350 Division I prospects a year. The budget's going to be a little bit different compared to maybe a Penn State or some other schools. So, you're going to have to make a larger investment in those types of places than you would in others. And that's a part of being in the Big Ten, and that's a part of being at a place like Penn State. That's a part of doing business. And I think, you look at the amount of money that Penn State football has the ability to generate for the athletic department and for the university. I think it's an investment worth making.
When you came in, did you study that on Penn State's historical part, or did you come in and say, I would like to have this much, these kinds of resources in order to recruit?
No, I think what you do is, it's hard to study those things historically because obviously cost changes. Things change. Hotel, car rentals, flights, travel. The price changes. The other thing that's changed is there's a lot less Division I athletes coming from this part of the country. Again, I think Pennsylvania's typically around 35 Division I players. You look at the state of Georgia's 80. So because that's the other thing you want to do is you want to make sure that the time you're spending is most valuable. So if you can land in a certain state and drive 3 hours in any direction and see 30 Division I prospects, that's where you're going to get the most value. What we do is study, what other conferences and what other schools are spending. And I think that's what you're looking for. You want to make sure that you're in the ballpark and you're competitive in terms of having the resources. But once again, what are the situations of the schools you're comparing yourself to? For example, one of those Florida schools or one of the California schools, it's going to be a little bit different, compared to us.
I've known about Lehigh Valley even when I was in high school. Easton and Nazareth, and you're talking about some of the strongest, historically some of the strongest programs in the nation. Northampton. I mean, there's just there's some great wrestling in this country or this area, and a lot of history. Obviously, Olympic champions. How many NCAA champions have come out of Lehigh Valley? A lot. So. We're always keeping an eye on this area. Obviously, I'm pretty good friends with Coach Crow at Nazareth. His son wrestled for us a couple years ago. Obviously, Coach Powell at Easton has been putting out some amazing talent as well. So it's a great place. They love wrestling, and I know every time we come in and wrestle at Lehigh, it's a huge crowd. So. It's a great tradition and rivalry there. All right, thanks, guys. Cool.
Is this an area you're going to focus on recruiting, Lehigh Valley?
Yeah, I mean we're watching the whole state. It seems like the last few years we've had a lot of kids coming out of the Pittsburgh area, and that has a lot to do with the Young Guns Club and what they're doing. But we're going to go wherever the best kids are, and our first choice is obviously PA. we want PA kids, and if you look at just the numbers and the stats, Pennsylvania is producing a lot of All-Americans and national champions really every year, far and beyond and above the next state. So our job is the trick, I guess, is to get the right kids, because there's just a lot of good kids, and everybody recruits Lehigh Valley. Every big team, every program all over the country recruits Pennsylvania and the Lehigh Valley. So it's just a matter of us trying to get the right kids. That's the kids that fit our program and our mindset, and that not only wrestle the way we want, but that also that we can connect with, and it's a good fit both ways. So that's what we're trying to do.